Yeah, we breaking silence on the Lord, oh. So why you think we out here on the Lord for? Yeah, I'm coming through, Ja, 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 coming through, I'm coming through. Yeah, I wear the truth like a logo. So why you think I'm out here on my dolo? Yeah, I'm coming through, Ja, 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 coming through, I'm coming through.
Yo, once again, it's the We Break Silence Show. Charles Pemlozorio, Cash Walking, Vanya. And we have two special guests.
Yes.
Guests with the extra S, right?
Plural.
I always struggle with that. Rachael Mari Hendricks and Jordan.
Hey,
Jordan, what you go by?
Hey.
Just Jordan?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, we do that. Just Jordan.
What did you want him to go by?
Michael Jordan? I don't know. I wasn't sure.
Jay.
No, usually guitarists,
JoJo.
they have special names, so I wasn't sure.
You bring that
So it's
guitar
just
everywhere you go, huh?
Yeah, a lot of places.
Everywhere you go.
Literally was just on the elliptical trying to play guitar.
Oh my God! You should have boomeranged that.
Multitasking.
You strike me as the person who plays the guitar at every chance you can get.
Thank you guys for coming. Rachel, let me start with you. So we were talking off air. You said you lived in Ohio?
Yes, I'm born and raised in Northeast Ohio.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay. That's what's up.
This
So
is
she
only
knows
like
what we're
my
talking about.
second time in Connecticut.
Really?
Wow.
Oh my God.
Do you like CT?
Yeah,
Do we treat you nice?
I actually was just here last weekend, I think, because there's this store called Puppy Love.
Yes.
I had to go there. I knew I wasn't gonna buy anything, but I'm like, I gotta go for my mental
window
health. I'm
shopping
like, I
at the
gotta
puppy
go.
store.
Yeah, it was great. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
we like it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
It's cold.
It is.
But I live in New York.
Oh, okay. I
Let
was
me
gonna say,
clear
do you
that up.
reside in?
Yeah, I live in
Gotcha.
upstate in Poughkeepsie.
Okay.
That's not
okay.
far from us.
I like Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They have, Cracker Barrel's close over there.
Yeah.
It's
Gotta
near
drive
there.
Near
Love
there.
Cracker
Yeah.
Barrel.
I love Cracker. Exit
fan.
13A.
But that's Fishkill.
Yeah, that's
I was gonna say, I
know
think
that.
that's Fishkill. That's not all the way in
Oh, I'm
Poughkeepsie.
sorry.
Yeah, it's before.
I'm sorry. Close. It's close. It's close.
At least
You
know
got me,
that-
Jordan. You got me.
exit. You got the exit right.
He knows the exit and everything.
It's on the highway.
That's crazy.
I love the catfish over there.
Yeah.
Dag.
So tell us a little bit about you, and we know that you're a singer.
I am songwriter as well.
Okay, and songwriting. Nice.
I moved to New York about 5 years ago to do music. So I didn't do any music before that. I never did a show. I never stepped inside of a recording studio. None of that. And
You were just singing in your room?
yeah,
just
you know,
all to yourself?
Shower singer.
Shower singer.
Yeah, shower
Those
singer.
are the best.
Shout outs to the shower singers.
Yeah, I wrote some poetry. I didn't think of it as a career or something that I wanted to do. I was dreaming about it, but I actually decided to move to New York about 5 years ago. Stepped into a studio, loved it, decided to, pursue this. And now I think I have a catalog of like 250 records.
Wow.
And I co-own a recording studio, yeah.
Oh wow.
Amazing. Things are moving on.
What
moving
brought you to
forward.
Poughkeepsie though? Usually people land in the city. I'm surprised
Yeah.
you landed in Poughkeepsie.
Right.
It's kind
how
of a
was
funny
that whole
story.
move?
It's kind of a funny story. So my mother passed away. Well, I guess that's not a funny story. But my mother passed
My
away.
condolences.
Yeah.
It's actually today's the anniversary of her death.
Oh,
so it's
my
like,
God.
no. So when I
Wow.
sing,
Full
I
circle.
might get a little emotional or passionate. You know what I'm
so
saying?
sorry.
But I'm doing music, so it kind of pushed me into that. So I moved here. I didn't just pack up and let me just figure it out.
Just pick a city in New York. That one looks right.
I got on Craigslist or whatever, Indeed. I found a job in an apartment, and it was actually in West Hurley, which is near Woodstock. That's just
Right.
where I ended up. But then the first studio I found was in Poughkeepsie.
Oh,
So I was
got it.
driving like an hour to Poughkeepsie, and I'm like, I hate this. And I started meeting people in Poughkeepsie, and I'm like, I'm here, I'm new, I'm lonely.
Right.
Let me move down there.
Right.
So I did, and that's just where it was.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha,
Okay.
gotcha.
And
Nice.
to be honest, the city still scares me. Like if we have to go to the city for a show, he has to drive. I
Yeah.
will not
Oh,
do
yeah.
it.
It terrifies you, huh?
It's
Yeah, it
gives me
terrifies
life.
all of us. Trust
No,
me.
It gives
Yeah.
me life. I love it. I
it
love
does give me life.
It just like energizes me.
I like it, but I don't think I could live there.
No.
Because
Yeah,
I can't
I'm the
afford
same
it.
way.
Yeah.
That
Nobody
too.
can. I don't know how anybody does afford it.
And I feel like I'd get no sleep.
Oh yeah.
And I
It's
just
bustling.
Yeah, but New York, like I love the people and like the mentality and like the go-getter, like
They're
mentality.
fast thinkers. They're
I
on
love
point.
it.
I love that too.
Yeah.
They're not slow like us.
Yeah.
Like
I
we're
love
freaking
it.
slow in Connecticut. The way we drive, I have bad road rage Pam over here. I'm
You
so
do.
sorry.
You gotta calm down.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just
I
got
love
too
New
fired
York.
up.
Like
Way
I
too
love
turned up right
I
there.
love driving New York
For
because
what
they
though?
know how to drive.
But
No, they don't.
So if
Hell
I need,
yeah, they know how to drive.
so if I need a
Connecticut
ride,
does not know how to drive.
Yo, look at the cars in New York.
exactly.
Look how they look. They're all
They
marked
have
up.
bumper-
They have
No,
bumper
listen.
pads
They know how
to
to
get.
listen.
Yeah.
It's a park.
They know how to drive. They don't know how to park.
I feel like honestly, it's not the pedestrians and like the drivers. It's the taxis that freak me
Yeah,
out.
the
That's
taxis
what
get me
scares
out
me.
They
are
own. They
just-
own the
They're
street.
reckless.
Very
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah.
They're reckless.
You gotta be though. Like you cannot drive soft in New York City. Like
You have
got-
that 1 second. You either
Yes,
take it or
you gotta
don't.
take
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Just
And
go
no,
for it.
Somebody will actually give it to you too. Like they'll be like, "Yo,
Yeah.
like you'll be coming
But
on
it
the highway."
expires real
0.2
quick.
seconds. Oh yeah.
It expires.
Especially in traffic, like it's like if you're right here, you just gotta go in there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Even if you don't
scares
got
me.
it, sometimes you gotta just
Right.
go.
You just gotta go.
You gotta take
So,
it.
It scares
For the
me.
principle of
You
it.
gotta
all.
take it.
Right. So the studio that you co-own, is that the studio that you started going to when you first moved, or
No, so that kind of was a learning experience and like a build up. I started going to a studio, and of course I loved it, but I was a baby and I was new and I was shy,
Yeah.
and I wasn't cutting records the way I knew I could sing it on my own or in the shower.
Right.
So I was spending money re-recording tracks
Right.
over and over,
Yeah.
to the point where I was like, let me get some equipment, let me just work on some things at home. So I started doing that, and then I was, I guess, bothering neighbors and being loud. Because when you're an artist, like, you're creative at all hours. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be
Yeah.
singing at like 2 a.m.
Right.
Might be up till 6 a.m.
Right.
Could be
Like,
anything.
you never know. So that kind of, I was thinking, okay, let me just find a spot. So I asked one of the engineers I was working with, his name's Derek, he goes by Drawzilla, I don't know if you've heard of him.
I've seen that on Instagram.
And he came with me to look at some spaces, and I didn't know anything about soundproofing, you know, all that stuff. So I'm like, I need you, come with me. So we started looking at some spots, and he's like, listen, like, I want to, you know, get out of the situation I'm in, the studio. He's like, let's start something together.
Wow.
So we did. And I started, you know, getting on Pro Tools, learning. He taught me a lot. I'm
Nice.
starting to dabble in mixing, so it's
Nice.
like, through experience, I record all my own stuff.
Nice.
Nice.
Like everything
That's
you've
the way
heard,
to
I
go.
recorded everything myself.
I was
the way
just,
to
when
go.
I asked you, I was like, "Yo, who mixed this?"
Mixing,
Yeah.
I let him do that. Like,
Yeah.
I'll try to do a light mix. He'll be like, well, that's way too much auto-tune. You know, I'll do like
Calm
the whole
down.
T-Pain thing on
You
that.
don't wanna go too
but,
crazy with
you know, I record my own stuff, and I love the freedom with that.
Yeah.
And I literally get in the studio by myself. Well, Jordan comes too. Like, he
Yeah.
lays tracks for me. But
Yeah.
when I'm laying vocals, I don't need anybody. And I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I
You're
can
like
get...
in your own world, your own space.
your
You're,
zone.
you're in control
and I can get the best take. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not nervous to sing in front of
Exactly.
anybody.
Yeah.
because you're controlling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
and no
of-
pressure. Like restart. Do this again.
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
ask me, they're like, well, you're not nervous when you perform. I'm like, it's different when you're
Yeah.
creating
Yeah.
and like you're vulnerable, like laying down the track.
Yeah. I
agree.
When I perform, I know the track like the back of my hand.
Because when people are there, you're kind of wondering, like you know, say it's like a dance record or something like that. You're
Yeah.
looking to see if somebody bopping their head.
Yeah.
Like, cause
Yeah.
whereas if you're by yourself, you're like, I know this is hot. I don't have to. I'm not worried about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
That's
you know, I get in my
interesting.
zone and I do my thing. So, yeah, it's called Drumline Studios. We got around all
Drumline
social media and all
Studios.
that. If you're looking for recording in the upstate.
I'm an audio engineer myself,
here.
so I'll check it out.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my little setup. You see, little setup
So, yeah.
over there, right behind you.
Now,
Nice.
production, I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not great with that, but I'm learning it. I'm so proud of myself for like picking it
Yeah.
up and
Yeah.
figuring it out, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love that because I feel like, I don't know, I'm the type of person where sometimes I just want to do something myself. So I think it's amazing, you know, when artists do have that experience and have that know-how to, you know, just
Yeah.
get your hands dirty and do things yourself and not have to like rely on
Yeah.
other people. You know, it's really cool. It's not easy.
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. I spent a lot of time on YouTube and like watching tutorials.
YouTube University.
Calling
Shout out to
people.
YouTube University.
Everybody learns everything.
That's how you learn a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of people learn a lot of different things on YouTube.
I mean, I still run across issues here and there, but for
course.
the most part, I get stuff done and
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And
by
you learn
that.
from the mistakes, so
Oh, yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
That's awesome.
Jordan, what's up, bro? I see that
What's up?
guitar.
What's up?
How long you been playing that guitar for, brother?
Oh man, like I don't know, 15, 16 years.
Really?
Or something. Yeah, since I
wow.
was young.
Wow. You just picked it up? What inspired you?
Rock and roll music, dude.
Word.
Robert Plant, Jimmy Page.
Word.
Nice.
Okay.
I've been doing like punk rock band things since I was a teenager. And
That's what I was gonna ask.
keep
I was
it
like,
going, yeah.
are you a punk rock grunger guy, or are we like classic rock? Like what am I thinking? Like Rolling Stones and.
I mean, who just does one thing?
That's true.
There you go.
That's true.
Good answer.
That's a perfect answer. That's as good as it gets.
Now, how did you guys meet? How do you guys know each other?
So, just to be clear, I kind of stole Jordan. He's actually in his own band. He does his own thing. He's his own lead singer of a band. So,
What?
yeah.
Same too.
Little plug,
She
Ramona
kidnapped you,
Lane.
brother.
She really can.
Yeah. Well, this is how it happened. When I started getting into like the whole music industry and all that stuff, I didn't know about production and working with musicians and all that. So I started going to some open mics, and I found Jordan. He was drinking a lot. And I was like, I don't know if this guy's like really gonna
night?
call me back, but
Rough night?
Right.
Yeah, it's like a hometown hero type thing.
Okay.
no, it was great. So I met him, and I asked him. I said, I need a producer to work with, someone that can like guitar tracks, because I started doing like a lot of pop country stuff, and I had been
Right.
working with more like hip hop R&B producers. So I invited him. We started working, and then I said, hey, I have an opportunity to do an acoustic set, a show. Do you want to do it with me? And he's like, yeah. And like we've just been doing it ever since. So
Nice.
I stole him, and I appreciate him.
Are you gonna give him back? No.
No. I feel like every time I like need him for a show and I like post it, like his band secretly hates me. They're like, I'm like
she
inching
goes
him
again.
over.
No.
Right.
We've done collabs before and like been
Yeah.
her full backing band and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like I'll open for their band sometimes. Like we'll do a little acoustic thing, and then
Yeah.
they'll do their set. And
Oh,
it's-
nice.
Yeah, it works
we
out
all get
cool.
along. We're fine.
Are you
I'm just
guys
joking around.
in the same area, like the Poughkeepsie area?
He's on the other side.
relatively,
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm
how?
from like Kingston, so I
Other
mean,
side of the river.
yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So how is it in terms of just the artist community? Because I think when I think of artists in New York, I think of the city, and I
Yeah.
never really think of the outskirts. So how is it compared to if you were in the city, or like are people close? Like
I would say I know generally everybody in that area. I mean,
Yeah,
even
it's
some
a
of the
good
people you've had
community.
on your show, like Kendall Page
Oh,
and
yeah.
Jamie
That's
Torres.
crazy.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I know
because
them.
she's from around
They're
there.
all
She's
from
Yeah.
that area, right?
Well,
Yeah.
she's like an hour. They're like in Middletown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think she's right in Poughkeepsie, but I think that she's in
Yeah.
there.
But even with social media, like even if I've never met you, like I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
Like we
Right.
all kind of follow each other and do the same events.
Yo,
Gotcha,
there's a lot of
gotcha.
artists in that area where like
Yeah.
Jeremy and her and
Yep.
Yeah.
Kendall's from. It be popping over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of artists, and I kind of get a little bit jealous of the artists that live in the city. I feel like there are more opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
because
course.
if I'm gonna do a show in the city, I gotta drive an hour
Oh,
and a half,
yeah.
which I'm all for. But it's like
lot.
if I
It's
just had to
draining.
walk down the block or
Yeah.
catch the
Right.
subway,
Yeah, of
you know what I
Catch
mean?
a subway to an open mic or something like that. It's so much easier down there, and they're everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
and
I
it's
get
very frequently too, versus in the-
exactly.
There's like probably 40 open mics going tonight around the
yeah.
city.
But I always get
Easily.
like a lot of love and like respect when I'm like, oh, I just came all the way from upstate to do this show, you
Yeah.
know? So it's cool. But like I said, I wouldn't live there. Like I don't think I really could do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I love doing shows down there and stuff.
Well, once
Yeah.
you're rich and famous and you can afford like
Yeah.
like one of those loft apartments like overlooking the Hudson River, then you can live on it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Like a penthouse type of deal. I got you. Nobody wants to
Right.
live in a closet studio in the city for like $1,800 a
Under the
month.
stairs.
Yeah, right. Like
the-
over
with the
some
train
bodega.
tracks.
Yeah.
No. So Jordan, what's your band's name?
My band's called Ramona Lane.
Ramona Lane.
Like, named after a woman's name. Yeah.
I like that.
Inspired that,
I like that.
We all like girls, all the songs about girls. So we thought we'd just name the band after a girl. It just makes perfect sense.
So Ramona came from.
I don't know.
you know,
It
just-
just came out there, yeah.
I really
Ramona's
like
a
that.
solid
Yo,
name.
I like that, bro.
I like Ramona.
It's so different.
Ramona Lane.
A subtle kind of homage to the Ramones, I guess, but like, yeah, it's really just random. It's whatever.
Did you think
That's
of that
how-
yourself?
I don't think so, actually. The drummer at the time, which drummers, they're a handful.
Yeah,
They're a
they
couple.
are. They're always characters, right?
They are the craziest ones.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I had this conversation with a friend too. I was like, bands come up with like the sickest names.
They do.
For like, and it'll be like coming from nowhere. There'll be like no meaning behind it. It's like literally, it's like, oh, Ramona Wayne.
Exactly.
No meaning.
You can't put any meaning to it.
Yeah.
If you just let it be abstract, then it's as
Exactly.
cool as you are. I
Probably
guess.
just sitting around throwing back beers, and then you're just like, it comes out.
That's it.
how it happens.
That's it.
Now, sorry. Oh, I thought.
No, go ahead. Okay, you want me to go? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna
Ladies
say now
first.
for you, what do you have a genre primarily that you sing, or are you kind of like what's your?
That's a difficult question for me to answer.
Who does one thing?
Yeah,
That's one thing.
it's actually more because
that.
when I moved here, I was gonna do just the artist thing, but I find myself doing a lot more songwriting than I guess actually like doing shows and stuff. Especially right now, I've got a big competition coming up in December in Atlanta for the
nice.
iWrite. Last year I won first place in a songwriting competition in the city, so I got to
Wow.
go to Atlanta. I did the same competition this year. I got third place, so I'm gonna go again.
Oh,
So
that's exciting.
Yeah, and I was struggling to find like my genre or what I'm gonna market to, but I love all types of music, so it's hard. Like as you were listening to some of my stuff, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly like that though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to be
So-
well rounded.
Yeah.
I try to just find music that I like and write to whatever, whether it's country or R&B or if I want to do like I don't know, urban pop track. It's kind of I become the character of the song I'm writing rather than like I'm writing for Rachael Hendricks, the artist.
Right.
And then I just put it in a catalog, you know. So that's something I'm actually like today struggling with. I've got an opportunity to sell some songs, and I'm like, kind of like, should I be attached to them or?
Let them go. That's what I was gonna say. Let them go.
I know. We were just talking about this because it's like I obviously like I want to be a songwriter and I want to, you know, have that income stream.
Of course.
And I want to give good content, but I also don't want Rachael Hendricks, the artist, to get like the bucket of trash songs. You know what I mean? Well, you know what I mean. Like my, you know, records people don't believe in as much. Like I still want to put out great content.
Yes, you
So-
want your music still to be your music. Like
Exactly.
the ones that come out, like you want it to be yours. You don't want to just
Yeah.
only be behind the scenes.
It's like the
Yeah, and I
work
don't-
versus art aspect of it.
right.
So it's like I have, you know, good records that I believe in that I want to put out for myself. Like two of the songs they wanted are I was going to release on my project, and yeah, they're talking about my show coming up.
Nice.
I was going to release on my project, and three of the songs, two of them were going to be on my project coming out like very soon, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Should I
Yes.
release it or should I let them do it? These people have a budget, like they're behind the artist 100%, like they could probably make it bigger than I can.
Yeah.
But
that's so tough.
I love the song. So I'm struggling. So it's hard
That's
for me
a
to say
hard
like
thing.
you sing this genre or you do
Right.
this, because even with covers, my covers that I do are all over the place. So
I know we heard the the Wild Thoughts one, right?
Wild Thoughts, yeah.
I like
you
that.
I really like that. That
Thank
was really
you.
good. That was really good. 'Cause
I actually had to learn that song that day because
Really?
what I've been trying to do
What?
is if I'm gonna do a YouTube cover, like I want to do it as soon as it comes out.
yeah.
So like I heard the
Strike
song,
while the iron's
the guy
hot.
that came, Donnie Mapes, who's on there. I don't know if you got to the end of it,
From
but
Kingston, New York.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's from
Okay.
Kingston.
Wow.
Okay.
I was like,
There's a
listen,
lot of you out there, man.
Jordan's like, he's
There
from
is.
Kingston. Yep.
we're like, what
Right.
song
Right.
just came out? We got to do that. Let's
Yeah.
learn it and record it today.
Wow.
So, you know, because we want to be the first one to put it up
Yeah.
and get that, you know.
Get the views.
Push,
and-
yeah.
Right. That's amazing.
So, do you come from a musical background? 'Cause I know you said you just kind of got into music 5 years ago, but like, what triggered it? Like, what was there something that you grew up, you know, listening to, or?
My brother's in a band,
Okay.
and I grew up bothering them during their band practice. I always used to think all the guys in the band were so cute, you know. And I'm like, they would play their music, and I would secretly like write to it or whatever. But I wasn't like
nice.
doing shows or singing or like trying to do anything like that.
Right.
But I think the biggest thing for me to actually push to come here was, you know, the passing of my mother, and not to be cliche, but you know, life is short and like do what you love. It kind of made me feel like, okay, I can go and I can do this and be proud to do this. And I needed to get away and like clear my head anyway, and I just felt like it was the perfect opportunity to like change my perspective on like what I was doing.
Did you transition by yourself? Did you move out of Ohio all by yourself?
I brought my little dog with me.
Oh my God.
So we packed up my little Toyota, you know, everything I could fit. And I told my sister, I said, don't touch my stuff while I'm gone. I'm gonna come back on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and like my little ticket, I'm like, don't touch my stuff.
Yeah.
And It was really hard though. I think I moved like 3 months after her passing, and you know, when I left, I was living with my sister in a house, and she was like, "Are you really leaving?" And she was like, she didn't want me to go.
Yeah.
She just lost her mother as well,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, I'm leaving," and it was really hard. It was
it
really
just
hard
you
to do.
two?
I have. Oh yeah, I live by myself. Like I have.
But as far as siblings, it's just you and your sister?
I have my brother
Okay.
and 2 younger sisters.
Oh, okay.
So it was really hard, and it's still hard sometimes, you know, because I, you know, didn't grow up here, but I
Right.
love what I'm doing. And my studio, God, I love it.
Opportunities.
That's
Yeah.
feeling, man. That's feeling.
And I drive 8 hours there. I was thinking about going there Saturday. I'll
Oh
just
my
drive
God,
8
girl,
hours,
8
go
hours.
back.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you drive often, like back and forth? Is it kind of like nothing?
I
now?
think probably like 3 times a year I do it. And it does seem like a lot, but I usually like download music. Like producers will send me tracks and I'll get it in a playlist, and that's where I do a lot of my writing, like the
Nice.
drive.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice. That's awesome.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
I didn't move to LA, so like my dad can just chill a little bit. I'm not that far,
Right.
you know. But
Not too far.
So back to your writing. They say the best songs come from like writers who went through like toxic relationships in the past.
yeah,
So
Like, a lot of
did
trials
you
and tribulations.
did you ever go through anything that helps you write?
yeah. Well, there are songs that I've written that are specifically, you know, relate to things I've gone through. But I also am inspired by people I talk to, or I watch like a movie,
Word.
and I'll want to write something, and I really just try to like embody that character in my writing. So it's personal too. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that are. One thing is. You know, with relationships, I have a lot of love songs. I guess I have too many love songs. But,
I love those songs.
yeah. But they're not always about me. Let's just say that.
Word.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they're not always about me, but I try to pretend like I'm that person when I'm
Right.
writing it.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the writing process? Like, do you have to be like, maybe have a glass of wine, or is there something that you just have to have?
Well, our
to-
studio's pretty stocked up.
Heard
The
that.
juice.
They get lit, basically.
No, I kind of go off vibes. So if I'm with somebody, maybe like I'll have a drink or something. But when I'm writing, normally I will find just a song, and I'll only have to listen to like 30 seconds of it to know if I'm gonna get something or
Something
not.
out of
You
it.
know, like
Yeah.
I'm quick. I hate when people are like, "You didn't even hear like the whole song." I'm like, I already know
Yeah,
if I
you
like
could
it or
tell,
not.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
like,
always say that about
Because
songs.
you know that
Yeah.
feeling,
Right
man. The
away.
first 10
Exactly.
seconds, you're
Yeah.
gonna feel
unless
that
I'm
feeling.
like, they're like, you have to write to this track, then I'll spend time on it.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
I know pretty quick if I'm feeling it or not.
Word.
So what I do normally is I'll upload it into Pro Tools, and I'll turn the record on, and I'll do like the melody stuff first. I'll literally just hum, or maybe I'll have a word here or there. Then I'll go back and then I'll write it. But then there's other times where I will write the lyrics first, and I have no melody, and then I'll have to like build from that. Then there are other times where I wrote the whole lyrics and the melody, and I go to somebody like Jordan and I just sing it, and he builds around it.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
think that? Do you find that to be like a little tougher to write without the music and then have to kind of align
Build
it and
around
put it
it.
in place with the song?
It depends, because this is also something I struggle with writing. Like, I want to be a good writer just in general and clever in my writing. But a lot of music nowadays is kind of like dumbed down.
Girl.
You know what I mean? So it's hard to answer that. Because if I want to be clever in my writing, I might do the lyrics first. If I'm just trying to do like, you know, a straight pop radio record, I might do the melody first, and like I'll just say like what kind of words kind of fit around this. I'm not really paying too much, I know this sounds terrible, but I'm not paying too much attention to what the words are saying. It's more of like the vibe of the record.
Right.
But there are other times where I want to say something specific,
Yeah.
and I'll put it to music later.
Yeah.
So.
There's so many layers
I know.
to
Yeah,
create
there is.
music.
I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
You
God.
know, it's like
What about you, Jordan? What's your writing process? He's a great songwriter also.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
I think the best stuff just comes random when I'm doing whatever. So I'll whip out my phone and just hum a little, like one line, and
Yeah.
let that be the muse of the song, and then come back and kind of work it on the guitar. And
Yeah.
I let it kind of sing to me. I really hate forcing songs.
Right.
Like I can't write a song about scrambled eggs. Like it has to be something. And even if, like Rachel said, like even some of my best songs aren't necessarily about me, but I embody that character, so I understand it. So I'm explaining how I feel about it. about maybe something my friends went through or something like that I'm trying to understand from their shoes. But yeah, you just have to let it kind of unfold itself.
Right. Wow. How many songs? Well, I don't. It's kind of a dumb question. I was gonna say, how many songs would you say you've written?
Far fewer than Rachael Hendricks. Let me just say.
Written or recorded.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. There's.
I don't know, probably like 30 or 50. I
have more than
I view
that.
myself as a slow writer. I guess maybe I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a kind of a slow writer. But when it hits though,
Right.
Yeah, like once the
The
flow's
time has to be
going,
right.
once the flow is going, you're getting into the whole like move of things. You're like, okay,
yeah.
now you got it.
Like
That's
she
when the
was
words
kind of
just
saying,
bleed
like,
off the pen.
it once it's kind of starts, you can tell right away, like that's not going anywhere. Just like
Right.
crumple it up, start again, which is fine with me. Sometimes I'll have to do 3 like. Not get anywhere, but I know what I'm trying to say until I figure out what I am trying to say, and then that song comes out of that. you know?
Right. Gotcha.
Jordan, does your band do you guys have a album?
Yeah, we have a couple EPs out,
Oh,
like
okay.
on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, all
Word.
that stuff.
Word.
I'm kind of into like the new wave of like free music. Like
I love it.
people like mix the whole mixtape scene. I think that's a brilliant way to do music.
I seen that
So-
a long time ago.
Yeah.
When
I mean-
even when Josh was recording his early project, I was like, bro, just let it out.
Just
bro.
put it out.
Yeah,
Because I'm telling yeah.
the sales ain't there. So
Nobody's doing it.
The radio, it takes them a while for them to play it. So we're our own radio.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
put it out.
And you
know what I'm
have
saying?
these avenues like SoundCloud, Bandcamp,
Correct,
and
correct.
all these places where you can get your stuff out there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You
So
know?
I just, I find it maybe a little more difficult, just logistics wise, to record rock and roll music
Oh, yeah.
versus electronic music.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Just on the facilitating, like you could do it on a laptop
Correct,
versus
correct.
you need a live room,
Yeah.
full set of drums, 8 microphones.
Yeah, that's a
et
lot of
cetera.
work. It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Even though at the end, like the artistically the same effort puts in, just
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
logistically it just takes a
That's
little
a lot.
buttons pressed.
Yeah.
a lot more to mix too, and there's a lot goes into that, the whole process. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a bigger room. You can't just go and like chill in like somebody's like bedroom like you
Yeah.
could if you were doing electronic music where it's all on the computer.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's like,
But I
everything
mean,
you
like
need.
that's not to put artistically. I think the same effort is
Oh,
there.
of course,
though.
of course.
Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool, and I love playing live shows. That's what I kind of live for. Like it's that live energy. I don't even think I convey as well recorded personally.
All right, there's a question
And that's
for both
why
of you guys.
that's why I
then. Oh.
love Jordan, because when I moved here I was missing like that live instrumentation, like that
Right.
component to my music specifically that I envisioned myself doing, because I was working with a lot of producers that were just on the MIDI and all that stuff,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
great. Like I have a lot of great records like that, but I wanted something a little
live.
more.
Somebody,
Yeah.
somebody who could like do that,
Yeah.
playing the guitar with me. Like
Yeah.
you get hum a melody and he could play it like right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
think that's pushed both of our like personal careers, because I have a background of like the, sitting in a coffee shop strumming acoustic guitar every Wednesday, versus the pop music and meeting engineers and producers. So my experiences versus her experiences, and we kind of bounce that off each other.
And he knows all this
Awesome.
like music theory and stuff that I don't
do.
know. And I'm just like, can you like take the whole
people
song
are
up a
afraid of
key? And he's
music
like,
theory.
Oh, yeah,
It's
sure.
easy. It's easy.
That's so awesome. You guys seem like you really connect well together. That's great.
Really
Good for
dope.
you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you guys.
No problem.
But before you guys leave,
Wait. Hold
oh,
on.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Music wise, like
I'm sorry, Vanya.
Right, I had another question.
where I mean, because I want to know. You talked about your project EPs and that you have out. Do you have music out? And where
I
can
do.
we-
So,
Awesome.
like he was saying about just let music go, like I had
Yeah.
a problem. I was like critiquing myself too much, hard on
Hoarding it
myself.
all.
Yeah.
Yes, and I had so many songs, and I was struggling. Like, do I want to be this kind of artist? Does my audience want to hear this? It was a lot that I was going through. But I did put out a project. It's like a pop country EP. It's called Everything, available on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. I've got a couple.
Great guitar played by me.
Yeah, great guitar.
Nice.
And
Gotta plug the guitars in.
Of course.
and I have a new project coming out. I was hoping to release it in November. I might push it back because of the situation. But that's gonna be a straight like pop R&B album or
like
EP.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Do you guys have like live performances, live shows
Anything coming up?
Yeah, actually next Wednesday, the 24th, we're playing live at the Falcon in Marlboro.
Falcon Underground in Marlboro. It's
Yeah.
a cool place.
Nice.
And then,
I've heard
Next
about that
when is
place.
it? The 24th?
yeah, Wednesday night. So that's a pretty
It's a
popular
program
venue.
called Poelities.
Yeah.
It's like poetry meets
Shout out
melodies.
to Poet Gold.
Oh,
If you're still
she's
watching.
great.
That sounds really
Very
dope.
clever.
She does a
Yeah.
lot of great things in like Newburgh and that whole area, the Hudson Valley.
So you got a little bit
She
of
really
spoken
brought a
word
lot
type
of
deal.
the artists together, like that whole community. I met basically through her.
Oh, yeah.
And her events.
That's amazing.
And that brings it back to the open mic. You know, that's the where you meet the community.
Yeah.
That's
right.
how you
right.
make the connections.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you're a young artist, go to open mics nearby. You.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is
To know
awesome.
some people.
I like that.
Last question. Can I get one?
Oh yeah, of course.
Question for both of you guys.
Yeah.
First time performing on stage, your music in front of somebody else. Describe the feeling. Go.
Man.
Nervous as hell because I just moved from Ohio and I was trying to fit in with these New Yorkers. And
Is the crowds
The
different?
pressure.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, everybody was very nice to me because they knew I moved, but it's a lot different. I grew up in, like graduating class only had 70 kids in it.
70?
70 kids.
Get
I
out of
had a
here.
class in high school that had 70 kids. I
know, for real.
For you people on the live that can't see, they all just went back 3 feet. But
70.
yeah, so very like small, low key, and a lot of these shows, like everybody knew everybody, and big crowd, and it was great. Like I loved it. Like I was like, I'm gonna do this forever. But I was very nervous.
Yeah.
Especially coming out as a songwriter. I wasn't just singing like some.
Right. You still feel that way now? Or it's like,
Any stage
I'm back
fright?
to it now. No stage fright
No
anymore?
stage fright?
No, I love doing it so much. I might be like anxious, like, oh, we're gonna go on,
Right.
like I gotta pee, like is it going on? But no, I love it. My biggest fear, like this is like my roadblock with shows, like driving to the city. That's like the only problem. Like doing the show is not a
Right.
problem.
It's getting there.
It's like
Got
Just
it.
the anxiety of the drive is like the
Yeah.
problem. But
Cool.
And we've showed up to shows in the city and just played for the sound guy and the bartender.
oh yeah,
Really?
yeah, and it sounded
That's just
great.
that's just
Yeah.
paying your dues.
Yeah,
That's all it
that's
is.
what it is.
Well, yeah,
I like
especially
that.
with
I've
the
been there
city.
before.
Yeah, I'm like, when I first came out with my project, nobody knew me, so
Right.
I'd email blast and I would say, hey, my name is Rachel, upcoming singer-songwriter. I don't really have a following. I'm hoping to, come to your venue and, get an audience. If
Yeah.
I can open up for somebody, if you have any opportunities, let me know. And basically what Kendall was saying, like, you get some shows, some people don't
Yes.
respond at all.
Right.
But we would do all of them, so.
That's why we
I
respect
don't
the
regret it.
grind.
Yeah.
And that's how you get to know
Yes.
people. You get to
Right.
know the sound guy. You get to know the venue
Yes.
owners. You get to know a lot
Build
of people.
relationships.
Yeah. That's
build
that's
up.
the
That's
big
so
key.
important because
That
a
is
lot of people
important.
want to skip that part of it.
A lot of people want to
You
skip
know,
the
but
process.
it's
And the
like-
elbow
And I just
grease,
want to say
yeah.
one thing.
They just want a record. They want to check.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing.
What's up?
I got very inspired, and I was like, this is insane. I got to open up for Genuine in the city.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I was doing like
That's a
some
big
R&B stuff.
deal,
But
yeah.
here's the thing: the venue was amazing. There wasn't a lot of people in the room. I want to say like less than 50. He put on a show.
I bet.
And from like he said something along the lines like whether there's one person or 3,000 people,
You
like
still
you
rock
need to put
out.
on a show.
Put on a show.
So that kind of inspired me, and
Yeah.
that's why like some artists are like, oh, nobody's here. I'm not gonna
I'm
do the
not
show.
going to do a show, yeah.
I'm gonna do
That's
the
like
show.
what Nikki was
Nice.
saying.
I'll
Like,
do the
I was gonna
show.
say, Nikki said the same thing
Nikki
last
said the
week.
same thing. She said
Yeah.
she went down this to a Bridgeport or something
There was
like
like
that.
one
and there was
person or
one
just
person in there.
two people in the audience, and she
Yeah.
still rocked.
I'm
it.
still gonna
Rocked it,
sing to
though.
them, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna get them to follow me,
I love
and I'm
that,
gonna,
man.
Yeah. It's a
put
new
them on my
fan.
email
I love
list.
that.
Yeah.
Reach one.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's real.
Good. Good.
What's one word of advice you can give to aspiring artists, songwriters,
Okay.
singers?
I would say, and I need to like use this on myself, but it's don't critique yourself so much. Like put your music out there. Don't feel judged. Like somebody's gonna judge you. Somebody you don't know in Oklahoma, whatever.
You're gonna get
And
that.
it's like this is what you're doing. You recorded it. You wrote it. Just put it out.
How about you, Jordan? What's one word of advice?
Yeah, I would say I always find like, especially with starting musicians, they're so afraid to be wrong that holds them back. Like,
Yes.
forget it, be wrong,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
I like
Just
that.
a note that falls to the ground, like whatever.
Yeah.
That's a note.
I like that. I'm gonna steal that,
I
bro.
like that. Yeah.
Hopefully you didn't
You
copyright
got it.
that.
That's a gem. It's just a note that falls
We need to get that in a
I like that.
quotation.
See,
and
I
put it on
told
the
you he's a
wall.
good writer. Like,
Yeah.
he's just brilliant.
You didn't even know you had that gem like that.
No, I got cue cards right here.
That's my next Instagram caption, okay?
I like that.
What did you
That's
say?
gonna be on his EP.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
Like it.
He's about to copyright it, so
Awesome.
you're
I'm
gonna get sued about it.
gonna put Dash Jordan. I'll give you credit for it.
You gotta give him credit for the quote.
Before we let you guys go, we would love to hear you guys live.
Yes.
So I'm
Let's
gonna
do it.
set you guys up over there. You three talk to each other.
Okay.
Sounds
While I
good.
do that.
Okay.
Continue the convo. Awesome. I'm excited to hear.
Play some music.
I know you should.
You got background music. You got
I love
background
it.
music. But
This is
yeah,
All right,
crazy.
so we're gonna have E setting up Rachel and Jordan right now. So
gonna hear some live.
I want to hear
I'm
this guy
super
play his
excited.
guitar.
I know.
We get
I
to
am.
hear live.
I know.
Live.
Are you doing a
music.
video, E? This is gonna be on the YouTube channel. Oh, it is. Oh,
Oh, it's on.
okay. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I didn't know this.
He's like,
We were
yeah,
already on.
duh.
Super dope.
Awesome.
Super
See,
dope.
we're doing big things in here.
Yeah.
iHeartRadio, live performances in the studio. She opened up for Genuine. What are y'all doing?
That must have been dope. Genuine. Woo, I remember Genuine back in the day.
I can't even do this right now.
Back in the day. But no, I think
Crazy.
it's so dope. Like, just that idea of like just being willing to perform,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
matter
No matter
how
who's
many
there, how
people
many
are in the
people are there.
audience.
That's a
Yo,
lot of bravery because
when
I know I couldn't.
Right. And,
what I'm saying.
and humility too,
Yeah.
because a lot of people, their pride is just through the roof, and
Yeah.
they're like,
That's what I'm
"Whatever,
saying. We
not
got
doing
some
that."
bad advice during the whole Hot Shots era when we were, so we got spoiled too because Simon threw this show. Shout out to Simon when he threw the Rock the Mic. I'll never forget. It was August 8th, 2008. And we sold out the whole place. There was people who couldn't even get in all tuxedos. As many people. It was our first show ever. So we were spoiled. So every time we did a show, we thought that like, oh, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And we thought that it was supposed to be packed. And then, so when we did a couple more, and then there was like less people, showing up,
Right.
we started to feel like some type of way, But
Right.
really, you shouldn't. You should just perform for whoever's
For
there.
whoever.
Yeah.
That's it.
Really.
So I respect that. I do
Yeah,
respect
I
I
that.
do.
do too. I respect anybody can get on stage. That's
Girl.
let me tell you.
not easy.
Yes.
What do you think you're doing right now? You're on stage.
But
But
It's
it's like no
different.
one's in front of you, so it's like
Right.
different. You know what I mean? But when you're like in front of the stage,
the
and
eye in the
everyone's staring
sky
at
is
you,
always watching.
It's like, oh wow,
I know,
everyone's staring at
the
me.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just
Especially.
saying. I'm just saying. I think,
I'm just not a good public speaker. I got to get better with public speaking.
Pam, this is what this is.
But it's different. They're not in front of me. You know
Yeah,
what I
they
mean? Like
are.
it's like I'm talking to you guys. It's not.
Right. It doesn't feel like you're
It doesn't
talking
feel
to
like
an
I'm talking to a
audience of
huge
people.
audience of
There's
people.
a very big difference.
Yeah.
I
When they're all
guess.
staring at you, like just waiting for you to say something, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a little awkward.
I
And even with
suppose.
singing, I feel like it's hard because I know like your nerves can affect just how
The way that
your
your
voice
voice
sounds.
sounds,
you
yeah.
know? So it's like
I wish I had a singing voice. I said that
Yeah.
when Kendall Page was here. I was like, oh my god, her voice.
She has a great voice.
She does have a great voice.
She does have a great voice, and that's crazy. They're all from the same area
Yeah,
and
that
everything
is
like that. That
crazy. We should
area.
go down
that-
there. It's one of their
I was gonna say
we
like
should
we're
definitely
so
take a trip
close
down
to
there.
like
Yeah.
Newburgh in that area. Like
We should take
really,
a trip down there.
Yo, and then that's
Need
what I'm
to
saying. We
visit.
run into some folks too that we could get, come on down.
Yeah.
Maybe they put us on too to some other things.
We should do it.
Some
an
happenings in the area. We should do events.
Event. Yeah,
We're
do.
close enough to that area.
I want to
you know,
host
so-
events.
I
I
wanna
like
host an event,
hosting.
too.
I'm a hoster.
You
All right.
are the event cash.
Rachel,
I
can
know.
you do a sound check? Can you say mic check?
Mic check 1 2.
Okay.
I hear you.
I hear
Can you
you.
play the guitar? You
Yeah.
sound good, Jordan. You guys could take the
Ooh,
floor.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So instead of a freestyle, we got a live performance.
I like
New Villa
it.
Radio.
Can I put this on my story?
We
Yeah,
do
go ahead.
everything. We do everything at New Villa Radio.
You guys take over.
So this song is called Used To. It's the song I won first place in the city with, so yeah. I'm sitting blank, staring at the pages. I haven't slept in 3 damn days. You're on my mind and it keeps replaying. Wish you would give my heart a break. Take back all your broken promises.
where you crossed your heart and swore to death. Take back all your precious memories. I know that you don't want me like you used to. And you don't need me like you used to. And you don't love me like you used to. But you used to. My Friday nights were all but taken when clocking out that 9 to 5. Straight to your house, my heart be racing, just to be right by your side. So take back all your broken promises, where you crossed your heart and swore to death. Take back all your precious memories. I know that you don't want me like you used to. And you don't need me like you used to. And you don't love me like you used to. But you used to. So hold me like you used to, just the way you used to. And all the things that we do together. Hold me like you used to, just the way you used to. Loving me. 'Cause you don't want me like you used to. And you don't need me like you used to. And you don't love me like you used to. But you used to.
That was awesome.
You guys stay right there. Give us both of your social medias. If you guys have any websites, promotion to do it right there.
Sure. So all my stuff is Rachael, RACHAEL _RMH. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. My studio is Drumline Studios, Instagram, all that stuff. Our next show is Wednesday at the Falcon in Marlboro.
I like that.
Yeah.
How about you, Jordan?
So you can find my band Ramona Lane on Instagram. We got Bandcamp and SoundCloud and all that. If you want to follow me,
Yeah, tell them your Instagram.
Snails.Valentine. Snails Valentine on Instagram. Check out what I got going on.
Nice.
But yeah, we got lots of shows coming up, so check it out.
I love that.
so
Thank you guys so much for
were
coming.
amazing.
Thanks for having us.
That was a beautiful performance.
Thank you.
We really love that. Once again, it's the We Break Silence show. E. Charles, Pamela Rosario, Cash Walk, and Vanya. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page, New Villa Radio. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at New Villa Radio. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at We Break Silence _. I didn't start it today. Oh, your voice back.
It took like 4 seasons.
It took me 4 weeks. I was good last season. Just this season, bro. This season I was struggling.
Yeah.
It's all good. But your boy's back.
I love it.
You guys have any final announcements?
No, make sure you follow me on social media at Pamela Rosario. And my website is PamelaRosario.com.
Yo, just be great, man.
Be great.
like
Whatever
that,
you do,
Cash.
just be great.
And find out what was that gem he dropped with the note? Vanya, come on. Don't be like me
I
now.
just remembered.
Notes hit the floor or something like that?
It's just,
It's
just a note to
we
the
were talking
floor.
about mistakes, and if you make one, it's just
Yeah.
a note that falls to the floor.
It's just a note that falls to the floor.
That's
I like
it.
that. I like
That's it.
that.
Thank you,
Just a note
Jordan,
falls to the
for that
floor.
awesome
I'm not
gem.
forgetting
I
that.
know.
I'm never forgetting that.
You just forgot it right now.
No, it was the before that I didn't remember, but that it's just a note that falls to the floor.
Anyways, see you guys same time, same place next week. Love y'all.
Good
Sounds
night.
good.
Good night.
Peace.
This is New Villa Entertainment.